Okay, so I rebooted the machine and it seems that we have the correct drivers now. So ADP devices shows this is the name of the device here. Okay, so let's try if we can actually see it in the Eclipse. So the Eclipse is the actual editor you will be using. Takes a while to start up. Okay, so it's starting, and this is the first startup, so you will need to select the workspace, and we'll just take this and let's just use that, and that's now properly sized there. Now in the this time let's create just a short, just a quick application to show an Android UI and how to load a layout and so on. Basically just a new application wizard. And Workbench is still loading. Yeah, there we go. So try to get this into the window exactly. It will be a bit slow on the first startup. It will be do some indexing and stuff, and actually see here. Oh well, actually you cannot because my stupid face is right there. But yeah, it's just showing that it's loading the SDK. Okay, just close the welcome screen, and here's the UI. I'm not going to explain it right now. We can go later to the exact parts of the UI, what will be used where. But first, take File, New, Android Application Project. And let's call this Reddit Lite. And this is my domain. Officially you can use whatever here. But because I happen to have my own domain, I can use that. What's wrong with the right? Yep. So minimum required SDK. This, as I explained earlier, is the 2.2. So we can target like 95% of the market. And target is the latest Jelly Bean. And HoloLite with dark action bar. Yeah, let's use that. That's the how it will look. You can select if it's like by default if it's white or black, and you can create your own themes also, but we're not going to go into that right now. Create custom launcher icon. Well, yeah, let's make some kind of simple icon and create activity. And in workspace, working sets, that's all fine. And let's create from clip arts. Oh, what was that? Yeah, let's. What would convey the idea of Reddit? well, it doesn't really matter what we use here. It's just, we are going to replace this anyway later, so just take the memo there, and full code scheme, that's fine. Shape, let's make it square. Background color, that looks a bit ugly, but we don't care, it's just a placeholder. And this would be, the master detail flow would be the modern way to do things. So if you tilt it, you will get the sub activities in the left side and so on, but let's just create an old style activity so we can use the old Froyo target. Let's just call it main activity. Yeah, that's fine. And navigation type, this would be fancy, and you can see this in all modern apps, you know, where you can just swipe to switch to different kind of views, and it's very nice. But because our minimum SDK does not support that, we're not going to use it. So navigation type none. Here we go. Okay, right, it's still loading. Sorry, it's a bit slow on these first uses. It should be quite faster after we have been using it for a while. Just be patient also when creating your own project, because yeah, this will take some time. Okay, here we go. And that's it. Now, it's just a simple hello world. We can try it immediately if it works. The wizard should create a usable project by default. Let's see. I have my device now connected here, and we can see we should be able to just click here the debug button. Let's see what happens. No. Okay, debug as Android application. Still nothing? I need to, let's see, if I open the Java file, maybe then. Debug as Android application. Okay, there we go. Now we have I really need to move my face somewhere else so I can, because here's the status bar. You can always see what Eclipse is doing by looking here. So now it's launching, ready to light. So what it's actually doing, it will create a, oh, there we go, it will create an APK. Okay, now it will ask us what device we want to debug on, and this one here is this one here. You can also use emulators, and maybe we'll actually have a look into that also, because perhaps you don't have a device. Okay, it's actually, I'm not sure if you can see it. No, it's just well, that's interesting. It's very glary. So, but yeah, I promise you, it's running here now. I can see the activity here. It's pretty so hot. Oh, there we go. So you can see here's the Reddit light thing and hello world. And now on this screen here, yeah, it will ask if we want to monitor the debug output, and I highly recommend you enable that, because then you will get this log cat console here, and you will see what's going on. For example, if it crashes or something, you will get a lot of useful information here. Okay, so that's that. And let's open, there's no debug perspective here, but let's see how we can create another debug configuration. And actually, let's create now a virtual device, aka emulator. So it's the button here, Android Virtual Device Manager, and here's actually some device definitions. Let's see if we can actually create. Oh, this is fairly new thing, because just like a week ago I was doing something with brand new SDK, I think, and this didn't work yet. But let's create Nexus S by Google. Create AVD, and this should, yeah, it should create it from, or have a similar configuration as the real Android device. So targets, let's try with the latest. Hardware, keyboard present, I don't know, does it really have that? Well, front camera, well, we cannot use my webcam now because it's in use, but let's take emulated. No, wait, no front camera. Let's take only back camera. Memory, that's fine, that's fine. Let's add an let's add a 200 megabytes SD card also, and that should do it. Okay, let's see, and we'll stop this. Scale display to real size. I think that uses like Windows DPI, you know, like dots per inch or pixels per inch, so that it will actually know what kind of area certain amount of pixels on my screen take, and it knows how big the pixels would be on the device. So because the pixel density on these small displays is a lot higher than on, for example, laptop or traditional displays, we actually want this. It's much easier to debug because it would look huge on your screen. And yeah, first time I was launching that, I was like, oh, what is going on here? Why is it so big? It doesn't even fit on my tiny helper screen. But yeah, so that will scale it down so that it looks about the same size as a real device. So let's say screen size, monitor. Oh, well, yeah, it apparently doesn't automatically find out the DPI, but I think that's reasonable. So, but what's the size? Is it really that small? 4-inch screen? Maybe. Let's see how it looks like. It has actually been like a year or maybe even 2 since I last used emulators for anything else than just quickly checking what's happening. I don't even remember the hotkeys. Oh, and apparently you don't need the hotkeys anymore because you have these buttons here which are tiny. I cannot see what it says there, but you can see the icons. So there's home key and menu key, back key, like the mandatory buttons you have to have in every Android device. And that's a 4 position rocker with the OK key. And that will actually take forever to load, so I'll just put it off screen so I can monitor it and close this. And then usually you will very quickly have, this is the list of perspectives you have, and Java is like your editor mode, and DDMS is how to call it, it's like connection to your device, where you can view information of running processes and so on, and you can like do some profiling, which means that you can create measurements of how much time your code takes to execute. On, like, if you're having a bottleneck, something is going too slow, you can like what's that word, diagnose what's happening, why it's taking so much time. But we'll get in more depth into that later. Oh yeah, actually I'm just trying to create an application instead of doing in-depth tutorial. So it's still starting here. I'm just trying to waste time while that's starting. So what I was saying, these perspectives, you will also want to have the debug perspective. You will get that automatically later, but we can manually open it, and then it will add it also here, so you can easily switch to it. So the debug perspective, now we see this running application here. We actually want to stop it so that we can start it on the emulator soon. While we are still waiting for the emulator, we can actually do some research, because I have no idea how the Reddit API works, and that's in core of our study here. So Reddit API, Reddit. How do you pronounce it? I have no idea. But yeah, Reddit is nice enough to give us free access to their. I'll just put my face down there. Nice enough to give us access to their documentation, and like give the whole source code of the system. But let's see. If you have no idea how HTTP requests work, well, I'm not going to go into that too deep, but yeah, there's basically post and get methods to get, and apparently it's using post for, there's get, API me, authenticate user, API register, API updates. Okay, let's go these. Oh, there's nice categories here. That's account management, apps. I wonder what this is. App developed by the user, the name of an existing user, valid mode hash. I don't know what that is. Well, we're gonna probably going to learn that later. So let's see, links and comments. Comment, del, edit user, hide info. Okay, listing, comments, article, controversial. Okay. Let's see just which is the default. So that's a get method. After, before, count, limit. Show target. View code. What is this? Oh. Wow. They are really good at this. This is really convenient. I mean, wow. They really want people to make apps for their data. That's very cool. So they're actually giving us full documentation how to do this, and then they go into lengths to give you actually a link straight to the code that actually does that thing on the server side, so you know exactly how it works and you don't have to wonder, but now it's giving me some unexpected data, what I'm going to do. Oh shit, stupid server developers always breaking everything. But yep, this is pretty cool. So it's self-request, and because I don't know details of the Reddit codes, I don't know what exactly this means. This is just a call to that. So we would need to go deeper, and I even may need to download the source code and to cross-check stuff how it works. But yeah, that's cool nevertheless. And let's see. Okay, so it seems to be quite logically mapping from like buttons of the UI straight to what is actually happening under the hood. And I think the first iteration of this application will be just the simple UI, which shows just the latest things on the stream, the hot stream, and that's it. After that, I think we will create another activity which shows a single thread with maybe hot comments or something. I think that sounds reasonable. And from links, when it's not self-post, but it's a link to somewhere else, I think I'll just create an URL and basically tell Android to figure out what to do with the URL. Like there might be other Reddit readers which have registered their own activity for Reddit URLs. So, and no wait, what the hell am I talking about? But yeah, for like, let's say you have IMDb app and someone posts a link to IMDb on Reddit, and you click that link on our application, Android will ask you, do you want to open this in the browser or the IMDb app? Yeah, that's what we want to do. So we are not going to create our own browser or something like that, or embed a browser. I think it's better to just let Android decide, or the user to decide. Sorry, still trying to waste time here. Seriously, these things still hasn't booted up. I wonder what I have running here. I don't have anything terribly heavy applications. You know what? I'm just now going to wait until this launch has finalized, and I will just time-lapse this in post-production, real production here. So, and I will just continue reading the API documentation while doing that, and maybe after that I have more concrete plan. You know what, that seems to be stuck. Okay, screw it. We are not having a look at the emulator this time, but at least we got the wizard sorted out. Yep, so that didn't quite work. I'll just maybe let's just forget about that damn emulator. I'll try to show it on the device screen if once we get somewhere. But let's see, how long have we been recording? Like half an hour. Let's see if there's still something we. Yeah, maybe now I'll explain what are we seeing here. I'll explain this package exploder. So this is our project. Just collapse all. Never mind. I'll do it manually. So, oops, sorry. First we have the source folder, and under that we have the package, and under that we have our only actual Java file, which does these things. It will just when it starts up, and the system will ask it to, hello, we would like to load you, and we will pretty much just use one function to load the whole UI from one XML file, and that's it. Or actually resource, I think that's XML gets compiled to something, I would imagine. And on create options menu, no, it also created a menu for us. That's handy. That's also in an XML file, and basically we will just load that. Now, in this gen folder, just ignore it and never change anything there, because every time you compile something, it will get replaced by stuff created by Android compilers. And this is our platform, Android 422, which we compile against, and this shows where the actual jar file is that contains this library. And yes, you can see it's where it's expected to be. And Android support, for some reason it automatically added the support libraries for version 4, which is Android 1.6. There we have it. Then let's see, bin, and this is also generated on build time. You will have the APK here, the compiled resources probably. These are generated from the stuff we made earlier on the wizard. These are the icons. Let's see. So yeah, that's basically it. And what else? Libs. And this is if you want to include other jar packages like libraries with your APK. Only thing you need to do is create a subfolder called libs and just drop the jars there, and Android will package them automatically in there. And I think it will also add it to the dependencies automatically if you drop something here. That's very handy. And res, that's resources, and these are dravables, and we have only icons, only the icon now. So we have like for high resolution, low resolution, mid resolution, extra high resolution, apparently now XXHDPI. I wonder what kind of devices that is. Let's see what kind of image this is. Well, that is pretty huge icon. And layout. this folder contains all the activities and activity fragments, I think they are called, the newfangled stuff I haven't been using yet. But yeah, here we can edit this like at a button here, and so let's leave it at that. We will be creating more of these later. And menu, that's unsurprisingly menu. So this is just the main menu, and apparently it created a menu for us called settings, which I think it shouldn't do anything yet. Let's look in the Java file. Inflate, yeah, it doesn't connect anything to anything. I don't think this does anything yet. But yeah, we can create a simple what's that called? Settings activity. There's a very simple way to store and get settings. And yeah, let's add that. Unfortunately, the very easy way is apparently now deprecated, and we should be using settings fragments, but I'm not going into those yet because I don't have a device to test those on, even though they might work with my legacy 2.3.3 or something Android. They might look really weird in the latest ones because they are supposedly going to render a bit differently there. What else? Values. Yeah, you can basically just different kind of XML files for storing values. This is used by the activity to decide how big margins you will have around something or another. Strings, this is always put your strings in a strings file, either this or create your own, because it's so much more convenient once you decide that you want to localize and yeah, translate your application. It will be so easy when you just need to create a couple of different these files instead of like going through all of your code and changing everything. And there's really easy functions to get these values also. Just load string from resource, something like that. And styles. Actually, I don't know what this is. App page theme. I think it's used here somewhere. Let's look at the code of the resource file. No, not there. Maybe in the manifest. Application. Ah, yeah, there we go. We could also go through this Android manifest. No. But yeah, apparently we also can define different values for different DPIs, which is handy, and for different versions or API versions. The 11, I think it's the 2.2. Wait a minute, 14. I thought we were using 17, right? Where is that? There should be like minimum and let's see the XML in SDK version 8. Yeah, and target version 17. Okay, actually I don't know what these are, so we don't care about that now. We are not going to create such a professional application at this point yet. So let's go through the manifest. Okay, so package basically just what the name of the package is. Google uses that for several things, like uniquely identifying APK files in the or applications in the store or Play Store, whatever. And version code, that's like incremental number. Always just call it the next number. It's just smaller is older, bigger is newer. And version name, this can actually be anything you want. I'm going to use just traditional 1.0.0 and we can call it 0.0.1 now. Shared user ID, no idea. Shared user label, no idea. Install location, right. We'll just leave that empty, because the user can then, I think we can then decide if he wants to put it on the SD card or the internal memory. If we absolutely need it to be one or another place, we can define it there. Then application name. Right. If you want to have one class that you know is always loaded when your application is loaded, you can define a class here. I don't think we will need this, but yeah, that's handy sometimes. It's also very handy for making bad design decisions, like one of my applications, Wi-Fi Wraith. Theme, apparently, yeah, here we decide the theme, which we saw earlier, and label. I think that's like, yeah, that will be shown in the application launcher. And that's the icon. Logo, I don't even know. Description, permissions. Well, there's actually some things I don't even know what they do. Oops. But yeah, these are anyway application or your package scoped settings, and we will maybe run into some of them later when we need to figure out why something is not working or is working differently than we expect, or how to do some specific task. Kill left to restore. And permissions, we will probably use this mostly for users permission, and for example I already know that we need to use the internet permission to load stuff from the Reddit site. So let's see. Yep, android.permission.internet, and that gives you access, for example, to the HTTP classes, so you can very easily just retrieve URL. Let's save that. Well, bloody hell. I accidentally hit Control settings instead of Control S. Permission, there we go. And instrumentation. No idea about this either. Yep, looks good, except we have a warning here. Oh, I accidentally. Yeah, the whole thing. Version code. So that will be our version 1. Let's format this with the Eclipse formatter. That's Control-Shift-F. It's much easier to read this way. And why won't it save? There's that asterisk there. Close. Save. Yes. I hope it saves. Okay. I think that's enough for this video. Is there a clock? That's interesting. That should be always on top. Huh, maybe. No. Maybe a new application window is actually launched in Java on top of on top Windows. It's kind of stupid. That's interesting bug. Yeah, I'll actually have a look in the video and see when did we wait. Yeah, that one. When did we lose that? But yeah, I didn't manipulate it, I promise. So I think we have used half an hour going through all of this. Hopefully next time we actually get to code something useful.